and they end up going with a Sylas, which is in a weird state right now for me, because Sylas early on in lane is easily abusable right now. Since they changed the champion, he feels a lot more clunky to play because you can't get the same animation cancelings. Some timings have been put in for your auto attacks. And it also is into a LeBlanc now. They know that they're facing Power of Evil coming off of this amazing series versus Golden Guardians. If they give him any sort of lead, they are going to have to lock him down with CC. So, it is up to the rest of the team. They've drafted a decent amount of crowd control with them. Pretty much everybody else having some form, stun or snare. So, see if they can actually keep him down and keep the reins on.
Well, there's a ton of pick potential on this FlyQuest squad, man. You've got Pantheon, you've got Blitzcrank, you've got LeBlanc. And that just means if anybody on TSM is out of position, and particularly if they're out of position and they're not ahead in the game, FlyQuest can quickly snowball things in their favor. But for TSM, finally having that Rakan in their possession could be a big game changer here. And Broken Blade and Dardoch, whenever you see Elise and Renekton drafted together, you always want to see them working together nice and early to try to snowball things in the top lane.
Right. If you are coming from ESPN, missed the second half of Champion Select, it's one of the most common combos that we've had in professional play for years and years. Renekton can stun you with W. Elise can get up there and land an easy skill shot, stun, cocoon, follow-up. That CC duration is good enough to kill off most top laners. Plus, you have dive options. What you want to look for are big minion waves being built up on the map. If Renekton can get control of the minion wave, you build up a double wave, and the Elise can come try and gank on that, dropping aggro with her repel. Meanwhile, though, back to the Sylas blind pick for TSM. I mentioned I always want to attack a Sylas early. I think he is one of the most vulnerable mid lane champions early on and should be pressured by junglers. That being said, Sylas also scales really, really well right now. What they gave him in exchange for taking some of the speed out of his auto attack resets, out of his combos, is just pure power, just pure numbers that they boosted on him. So if you are unable to attack the Sylas early, there are so many games where you've been laughing at him for the first 10-15 minutes, and all of a sudden he steals your ult, and he has achieved several levels from the early stages and is able to take over team fights. A lot of the buffs that they gave him were numbers buffs that are actually skewed more towards leveling. So that is going to be on the menu for Bjergsen. Meanwhile, Power of Evil on the LeBlanc wants to create early action, as does Kalista Blitzcrank. Captain Flowers, you can explain the Ballista combo because
the Ballista combo.
It is one of the most fun to watch.
It is very interesting. Blitzcrank can pull an enemy, and then Kalista can warp Blitzcrank back to where she is. And so Blitzcrank ends up getting double the pull distance. It's pretty intense. And speaking of intense, I just noticed something about this game as our camera panned to the top side, and I want to see if you agree with me here. Broken Blade, I believe, chose his Renekton skin this game very specifically and very intense. He is playing SKT Renekton against Power of Evil and Ignar, who were on the 2017 Misfits roster that lost to SKT in the quarterfinals, even after almost having a miracle run to beat them. It was tragic. It was heartbreaking for EU fans everywhere because they were so darn close to doing what nobody thought could be done. And I feel like this is tilt sauce.
Let me join you on this investigation then.
Okay, what do you got?
Is Dardoch in on it? Because Elise has an SKT Elise skin as well. If Dardoch is also wearing an SKT skin...
He's not. He's using the flower one.
Maybe you are a bit too tinfoil hat for me then.
No, man.
I was ready with you there. Connecting the dots.
Broken Blade has gone rogue. This is true.
Okay.
This is true BM right here. I'm telling you, man. This is 4D chess right now. As Dardoch is saying, I don't need some chess. I'm just going to steal some buffs away instead. Manages to take his opponent's blue buff right as Santorin would be coming over the wall. Good use of the Elise there.
Yeah. We touched on it in Champ Select, but the Pantheon, only thing he really lacks is power clear. So not going to be able to catch up too quickly. Dardoch steamrolling ahead here. Level 4 already on the Elise, and we do expect a bottom to top focus now that he's done his counter jungling. Broken Blade up there with Press the Attack is a very advantageous trade if you can avoid these sweet spots because, let's see it right now. Boom.
Yep, there we go.
Press the attack. All you need are 3 auto attacks, and your W, if it's unempowered, is going to give you 2. You get an extra 1 for it being empowered as well. And Conqueror for solo takes so much longer to stack up for Aatrox. One of the reasons why Renekton wants to actually pressure earlier on in the matchup. And there you go. Elise is headed up there right on time. Gank o'clock top lane.
It's gank o'clock. Let's see if Solo ends up falling victim to it. The wave is pretty far pushed up right here. Broken Blade just allowing that to go a little bit further forward. As there you go, Solo. I don't think this is a good spot to be in. He knows he's not getting out of it. He tries to walk away. Dardoch goes into the repel. Tries to flash out at the very end. I feel like that flash was a little bit unnecessary there. He stuck around for so long. You're already dead to rights.
What time is it? Time to gank at Elise Renekton lane. I don't know. We mention it every time. You're just like, how do they keep getting away with this? Well, they're built for that. You could see Broken Blade actually flashed because Dardoch used the cocoon as Solo was heading to the brush. He thought Solo was going to ward into the brush, so he didn't have any extra time to wait. And you want to layer the CCs there. So Dardoch lands the cocoon. Very well done by him because a lot of the time you have the Renekton having to be the one to set it up since his is easier to land point and click. But Dardoch lands his, so then Broken Blade flashes in to layer the CC. They take down Solo. It's 1 extra flash, as you pointed out there. Dardoch does burn his, but they got the kill, and they also make Solo have to worry about repeat ganks.
Yeah.
There's a reason that Renekton and Elise is such an infamous combo.
Biofrost moving into the enemy jungle now, seeing if he can just pop the blast cone, make it a little bit more difficult for Santorin to find a gank opportunity. Remember, Pantheon, although he has a gap closer, doesn't have the ability to use it to jump over walls, so blast cone is a bit more useful than normal for him. Santorin continue to just power farm, try to get towards that level 6, make it so he has that very impactful ultimate. Speaking of ultimates, you can see Bjergsen now level 6 himself, means he can start stealing those away from the enemy team, and we'll see which ones he gets the most value out of this game, because there aren't any of the ones that you think of that are going to be massive, but now we're going to see a massive Crocodile just
what time is it?
Solo before he's able to do much of anything about it. Dardoch just challenging Smites Santorin on the back end of the fight. It doesn't do a whole lot. Santorin and Power of Evil looking to chase after their opponents now, maybe grab some kind of a kill here onto Broken Blade. Power of Evil stunned up underneath the turret. He's going to be traded 1 for 1. And now that the teleport is coming in, Bjergsen's going to finish Santorin off as well. This is going immaculately for TSM.
Oh, you done messed up. Oh, wait, bottom lane. Let's see if we get a pull.
Nah.
Good dodge there from Kabe.
Good counterattack from Kabe as well.
Honestly, though, that it seems like we got a broken clock up there. It's always gank o'clock, Renekton, Elise lane. They do get punished this time, though. Again, perfect setup. You see a double stack minion wave. You want to deny it. You get the full execution. Boom, they're done. Problem is he uses second slice and dice, and he got minion blocked.
Yeah.
Was that
really
four tower auto attacks there? Plus it delays him walking back to the tower. So that was a huge minion block by the ranged minions. But this is the big important part. They're both looking at the counter. They turned the play. Dardoch and Broken Blade immediately destroy Power of Evil upon him going for the quote-unquote easy kill on the low health Renekton. Broken Blade getting his stun off there was paramount in TSM turning that one around. Very big heads-up play from him. Immediately expects Power of Evil to go in there. And Power of Evil went melee range to get the distortion damage. So very good job by Broken Blade finishing it off. And I was talking about Sylas. Guess what?
Yep.
They're all focusing topside. He doesn't get punished early. He does get a kill off of the roam topside. So you're accelerating that mid stage of the game I was talking about, where Sylas suddenly can pop off because he scales so well with all the numbers advantages. They realize, oh shoot, he just got a kill. This might become a problem. So Santorin does gank mid. Good job by FlyQuest to burn that summoner spell, take down the flash, but it's going to come at a cost.
Well, TSM gets themselves a Rift Herald. They get the first Rift Herald this game, which is going to be really helpful for them. That's what FlyQuest has been doing so far this series to their success. And honestly, this is the best looking TSM early game of the whole series. They're really doing some good work here before the 10-minute mark even rolls around. They've got a 2,000 gold lead. Dardoch knows he's stronger. He's going to walk right into Santorin's jungle and just dare him to fight back. It's easy pickings here for the Spider Queen as Ignar shows up and decides to make those pickings a little more difficult. But now Bjergsen has showed up. He's got Santorin's ult and he's using it right back against him. Biofrost is able to join the fray now using the ulti from the Rakan. Ignar still trying to run away from Bjergsen, but it's a double kill. The Kingslayer to find the damage. Power of Evil's got some chains down. They grab a root onto Biofrost. Q3 from Solo finds the mark. Power of Evil still looking to grab a little bit more damage. Solo burning away but will not fall. And it's a 1-for-1 trade. Or 2-for-1 trade.
Clear focus from TSM. Yes, drafting Elise Renekton signals that you're going top, but what are they going to do about it? TSM just keep going top. They get another kill for themselves. And even though it is an Ignar roam, I think it's a really intelligent roam, by the way. He buys up the Moby boots. Guess what? Biofrost answers. And we talked about it in Champ Select. Not only have FlyQuest been doing work with the Rakan, but they may have forgotten that TSM can do the same.
That was a nice cocoon from Dardoch, just instantly being able to blow up Wild Turtle there.
Very well done. Again, the early game from Dardoch is on point with this Elise. He still has Rift Herald too, so Kabi can whittle down on that bottom turret. They could knock off some more plates as soon as they need. He actually didn't activate it for Kabe. I thought they were going to mine a lot more off of that bottom turret and then do Dragon, because you can just activate that Rift Herald and move up to do Dragon yourself, but they are saving it. And it does give you an empowered recall, so when we're always looking at, all right, you need to get full value, get those turret points immediately so you have gold in your pocket to power spike earlier. It can also give you some empowered recalls to reset and rotate to the other part of the map quicker.
Well, now that everything in the early game has gone the way of TSM, this game presents us with a different kind of situation where FlyQuest now has to deal with quite a serious gold deficit early on in the game, the likes of which they haven't had to so far yet in this series, and we'll see how well they can recover. Because I stand by what I said about Kalista and Pantheon.
What time is it?
Champions you want in a situation like this. Tick-tock, gank clock.
Oh, I like our little song now, too. That's
yeah, there ain't nothing to it. Yeah, catchy little limerick reminds you exactly what's going on. Of course, Solo doesn't need to be reminded. He's been learning that all too painfully here this game. First turret down, 12 minutes in. This is just an absolute destruction of FlyQuest by TSM here.
And Flowers, guess what? All the kills are going to the Sylas. That's even worse for FlyQuest. Are you kidding me? This champion is going to become unbearable. We were mentioning possible ults for him to steal. They're not as ideal as some team comps we've seen. You know, like, oh, sometimes there's Sejuani and Malphite and all these things. But Aatrox ult was one that I used when I used to do jungle Sylas. That is actually really, really good for hidden power because the Kingslayer heals you for so much. The Aatrox ult can also amplify that, plus it gives you the move speed to become a brawler. So it kind of changes the way you can even play Sylas as a champion, and this is now a 4-kill Sylas in the hands of Bjergsen, one of the strongest players here for TSM. Him and Broken Blade have both been doing quite a lot of work. See if they can push it through to the mid game, because Dragon number 1 was there, just under 3 minutes for number 2.
Bjergsen is just going to jump on anybody and instantly kill them once these fights really start breaking out. And I say breaking out, but it's not even the right words, because I feel like by the time they flare up, they're immediately just going to be crushed back into the dirt. Because FlyQuest is just so far behind. 5K at 14 minutes, man.
These team fights going to be flaring up like rashes all over. What are we going to do about it? I can't stop scratching.
There's no aloe vera ointment in the world that can save you from this one, man. This is just a situation that if you're FlyQuest, you are hoping and praying that TSM makes some mistakes, that they overextend, and that they're in a spot where you can somehow find those picks and find those punishes with Blitzcrank and LeBlanc and Pantheon ult. Because a fair fight just isn't going to work. They find the pull right there. This is what I'm talking about. You get the pulls, you can make the moves, but flash over the wall means Broken Blade is safe.
Better keep running. Power of Evil's on the case.
There comes your Blast Cone. Santorin trying to chase even further, but a nice Blade of the Ruin King shuts it down. And remember, Pantheon ulti has a super long cooldown early, so being able to deny that from making a play is even more icing on the cake.
Okay, that means TSM, they take the weak side of the map too, pushing in on bottom and mid. Bottom does go down, and Dardock's behind Turtle.
Oh. Forcing out the flash there with the Cocoon. Dardock just playing out of his mind here this game. Doing so well in game number 4.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we can try and come up with something here for FlyQuest, but it is so hard with this quick of an acceleration from TSM. They, because of the top lane play where 3 members went to go attack Broken Blade, they gave up their blue buff control, and TSM took that opportunity to set up for the Dragon. They've got deep wards now. Dragon is arriving in 47 seconds, and they're fully prepared. Turtle with no flash, and Bjergsen is on him.
Turtle uses the exhaust to try to stay alive, but Bjergsen, being a copy of Power of Evil, is able to distortion in and take him down. Ignar cannot get a return kill. Bjergsen walks away, 5-0.
Yeah, you can start flexing, stretching a little bit there for the Silas because you have successfully scaled past your weak early game. 5 kills, fully stacked ring here. Wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility.
By the book.
That into the BM book, but it's definitely more BM on Silas, who's a melee champion that's going to get in there than we've seen on some of the at least ranged AP mages.
Come on, man. You get 2,000 health back every time you press W. He'll be fine.
True. All right, I have to see about the Dragon. Honestly, Rift Herald and then free Dragon for TSM because FlyQuest can't really mount a counterattack with their positioning here. Their wards have been taken away. They don't have the gold to fund this fight. So TSM take up the Rift Herald first and then can actually set up for Dragon on their timeline. They can push in topside. Broken Blade's got his teleport ready. He's got 2 levels advantage over Solo. So TSM are holding all the cards, and FlyQuest need them to drop some.
To drop some. Well, it's going to need to be a game of 52 pickup for FlyQuest to come back into this one. I just don't see how they can test their opponents when they're this far ahead. Zhonya's Hourglass on Bjergsen means that there's no way they're able to punish him in these types of situations. Drake is taken by TSM. Power of Evil jumping forward, trying to find if there's anything there that might be able to be picked off. There is not. And the items, you're talking about Broken Blade being 2 levels up on Solo. He's also got his Blade of the Ruin King fully completed while stopping off for an Executioner's Calling for the 1v1. Solo has not even gone for CDR Garage Sale, but still doesn't have Black Cleaver because he's so far behind this game just now.
Oh, he make you a liar.
Yeah, I should have to talk just 5 seconds faster.
Yeah, too long. You're just gushing too long here.
Too slow, bro.
Happens to the best of us. Honestly, though, what you want to do when you're this far ahead, TSM, as TSM are, because we need to examine this. They have lost games with giant early games, right? So, again, you continue to focus on these neutral objectives. They quickly pick up Rift Herald and the Dragon. Then you have to safely ward the jungle. That is your first priority so that you can starve out gold income from your opponents. And they can't accomplish that. Dardock goes down in the enemy jungle. He maybe was trying to place one of those wards or clear one out, but it is a good job for FlyQuest punishing him. And we've seen this series, he fails to slice.
All right, Broken Blade might finally drop to this play. He got out of it last time, but this time he's just going to turn it right back around. 1v3, no problem. Broken Blade manages to already get himself 1 kill. Can he do anything else here with this fight? Looking to maybe heal up a little bit further here, but can't do it before he falls. It's a 1-for-1 in that trade, and the cost, Kobe, is the bottom lane. The tier 2 is taken. Shelly's going to get a headbutt here onto the tier 3. Power of Evil manages to take her down, but Broken Blade is a monster right now.
Yeah, that's a rough one. It always feels bad as a jungler when you're ganking someone who got camped a lot for, because, and especially a Renekton, with all that burst damage, really difficult to survive there. Santorin does get traded in the counter kill, and it is some money back for FlyQuest. You know, they did get 2 picks that was preceded by their pick onto Dardoch. So again, like we saw earlier in the series when FlyQuest were winning, they continually look for the next opportunity of picking someone on TSM off. And that's one thing that TSM for this series do need to clean up if they're going to make good on this comeback. Currently, they're in an amazing spot to do that. They have such a tremendous lead, but that's kind of why we highlighted first safely warding the enemy jungle so that you can starve them out of gold. You can continue to push in the lanes and just stack up the dragons, stack up these neutral objectives for yourself so that you have a win condition to end out the game.
Yeah, the win condition. The Cloud Soul is the one. I talked earlier about how Ocean Soul seems to be the one that most people agree is the most powerful. Cloud Soul generally ends up being on the list of least powerful for many champions in the game. It's also the most varied, where some champions like Jhin get almost no use out of it because you root yourself when you ult, but other champions can get quite a big use out of it. We'll see what that turns into for TSM this game, as Broken Blade's able to force the flash and ult out of Solo, with Biofrost threatening his commitment to that engage as well. Solo knows he has nothing to do but retreat, and the tier 2 will drop in this top lane.
Exactly. Those are the benefits of warding up this jungle. It makes your rotation to any skirmish or any objective quicker. So while Broken Blade starts up the 1v1 with Solo, Biofrost can rotate quicker up through the jungle that they have vision control over, and after forcing the flash, starting up the Baron here, Kabe has a little bit of damage, so they can eventually burn it down as FlyQuest are pinned too far back.
Turtle does have blue trinket ready to go. We'll see if FlyQuest end up being wise to this. All right, they've seen it in the pit,
or is it?
The Baron is already down to 600 HP. It is going to be secured. Santorin tries to go for the flash steal. I respect it. You're so far behind in the game, you need a miracle to win, but that was not the miracle they're looking for here today. The water will remain water. The wine is just the TSM's after party after game number 4, because they are taking this one all the way right now. Biofrost goes for the dive. Not going to be killed in return, but so very close. Power of Evil gets away off to the side, but Ignar can't say the same as Solo runs away to the top side. Broken Blade in hot pursuit. Tries to find just a little bit more CC and damage here. There's a stun. Bjergsen follows it up. The CC is layered perfectly. Bjergsen godlike this game. He's got the stolen Blitzcrank ulti ready to drop on a wave or a team fight, whatever is more appropriate. Power of Evil's just trying to cut a minion wave. Come around from behind. Santorin jumps in. All that was Uber Eats. That was doorstep. That was a Pantheon. But that's all he can do. It's not a winnable game.
Santorin's an efficient driver there. I'll tip him. Thank you, sir. That was quick.
Went over all the terrain. Had a good time driving.
He just delivered one up in the jungle there, and he's right back.
My goodness.
Thank you. Wow.
Well, it's a rough game here for FlyQuest. I said during draft that none of the games in this series have been fast. Well, this one is fast. TSM 10,000 gold ahead. They've got complete Drake control. They're on Soul Point now, 23 minutes in. It's 14-4. They have one inhibitor exposed on the enemy side, not taken, but just ready, right for the picking. And we'll see how quickly they can close this one out.
I mean, honestly, most people predicted 5 games for this series because of how closely matched these teams are and because of what we've seen coming into this. And TSM, while they do have some games where you lose quite a lot of hope, they also have these ones where they get so far ahead sticking to their game plan that it's just like you're talking about. This is going to be the first quick game of the series and sets up so much tension for the Game 5 position that will position them for the championship qualifying meetup with EG next week.
Broken Blade moving forward. There's your follow-up from Biofrost. They're just making it look easy at this point. And honestly, how could it not be with the lead they have? Bjergsen will grab the kill onto Power of Evil. Everybody except Ignar is dead. He looks pretty cool driving around with his race car wheels. He's fast with Righteous Glory, but he can be fast in the fountain.
My favorite part is the honk.
He can do the little honk by himself because he's the only man left standing. TSM will put this game away. 25 minutes, and they will take us to Silver Scrapes. They will take us to game number 5.
And just like that, Flowers, we're into game number 5. I am actually so excited for this. I hope that we get a good game here, a good ending to this series, because it has been so fun to take the journey through where, TSM coming out with a really close victory in game number 1. FlyQuest had such a big lead. And then FlyQuest gaining a lot of momentum in this series, getting them to this game at match point, but quickly being shut down, turned around by TSM. Let's get into it.
I fully expect in the 5th and final game for FlyQuest to take blue side back. They don't look as good in red. I'll just put it that way. They definitely want to get back in the blue. It seems to be how they want to do this. But we're going to have that game 5. But before we go to break, for those of you new to League of Legends esports, allow me to introduce you to one of our favorite traditions here in the LCS. When a best of 5 goes the distance, all the way to that 5th and final game, we play the Game 5 anthem. So enjoy the majesty that is Silver Scrapes. And we'll see you here right after the break.